What is up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you another Fire Emblem video. I guess you're surprised to hear that one, but yes, another Fire Emblem video. Not necessarily a waifu's video, but I'm actually redoing that video because I didn't like the first couple cuts I did, so I'm gonna redo that video. But this video is something interesting I found. Now, for hardcore fans, this might be a bit old. I think this came out a while back. But supposed leaks for information about Fire Emblem 16, otherwise known as Fire Emblem Switch. Not Fire Emblem Fire Emblem Warriors, but the next mainline Fire Emblem game in the franchise being developed by Nintendo for the Switch, probably coming out in 2019. And judging by this information, I probably am right on that one. So information from Serene's Forest leaks about the story, characters, gameplay mechanics, classes. This is a lot of information, and it seems kind of early to me. That's what gets a big red flag. There's a couple other red flags here too, but it seems really early for this much information to be leaking out. I mean, specifically when the game was announced last November, it was damn near in concept, probably. So for this much information to be leaking out a year in, I mean, I guess that's enough time for this much information to be there for the game. But let's get into this. So the story is gonna have a gothic horror theme, which right there is a big red flag, because gothic horror, while marketable to adults, not necessarily marketable to kids or families. And I think they want the biggest audience possible for this game. And gothic horror, I don't think resonates like a big family title. Darker, more mature, but not M-rated. There are two sides, one called the humans and one called the Kibari. So the Kibari are similar to vampires from what I've heard. And the human side, of course, humans. Now the story here is that the humans, or at least the main character for the humans, believes the Kibari are a threat and wants to unite the humans against the Kibari in a war, probably to exterminate them or maybe push them out of their continent. Which seems kind of dark for the main character that you're supposed to be playing / rooting for. But I mean, hey. The Fire Emblem is a sundial, and it gathers energy from the sun and the moon, and can either empower or destroy the Kibari. Both sides are seeking to use it. So, of course, I bet you the humans want to use it to destroy the Kibari, and the Kibari want to use it to strengthen themselves to maybe defend themselves from the humans. So, another flag here is that this seems like the Fire Emblem... Whoopsie! Damn. This seems like the Fire Emblem Fate story all over again. I mean, because in the Fate story you had the Hoshido and the Nor, and the Nor were like kind of like the offenders. They were the ones attacking the Hoshido, and the Hoshido were just trying to defend themselves. And that's what we have here as well in this story. As far as characters, human characters, we have Alain. He's the protagonist, or I guess it could be, if this is the human, I mean, if this is the protagonist, maybe it could be two genders, maybe you could pick gender. The protagonist is a knight errant, uses a sword, upholds the dominant religion and firmly believes in it, learned to see the Kibari as a threat. His mission is to unite the humans in the war against the Kibari. So maybe if you have like a Nor-like story, because you know in Nor, in Fire Emblem Fates, technically your objective was to try to change the country from within. Maybe that could be something like this, but it sounds like he is like hard line with destroying these people. So I don't know. The other character is Huan, who is kind of like your Frederick type character. Except for he's a bit older, so I guess he would be more like, I can't think of the old knight dude from Fates. He's a laid-back knight past his prime. He aids Alain on his mission. Gwendolyn is a Myrmidon. She's a self-proclaimed Kabari hunter, so she's kind of like chick Van Helsing, I guess. You got Godfrey is a unknown class, but he's a knight, which that kind of, I guess that kind of is kind of an oxymoron if you don't know his class, but he's a knight. This is a different type of knight, but a knight that's said to resort to extreme measures. So that's interesting. He's like the bad cop in this good cop bad cop thing. And then as far as Kabaddi characters, the avatar's name is Dracul. Really, can you get more like cliche with this one? Dracul. I mean, damn, like Dracula's the good guy in the game. Okay. His class is a vassal class. Now the interesting part about this is his class. Is that his class is the vassal class. So it's kind of like a flex class where you actually get to pick the type of weapon you get to use. So that's pretty interesting. So I guess you get to pick if you want to use swords, axes, bows, magic. That's interesting. And then you have two. I'm assuming they're gonna be like twins or sisters. They have Mariel and Maruna. They're both red and green units known for their wizard prowess. One of them is optimistic and energetic. The other one is quiet and calm. So I mean, I'm thinking like hot vampire mages. You know, Felix is an Impaler class. So Impaler is basically like a lance class essentially. He was recruited from bandits, so I'm guessing he's a normal person. He's not a Kabari. So then the interesting thing here, we get our classes. So Knight Errant is in the game. So from what I heard, there's actually a class from older Fire Emblem games. So that's interesting. Hunter, I'm not quite sure what that is. That's probably an archer class. Monk, they could be like the physical hand-to-hand monks, or it could be like some kind of healer class. Bard, we know what bards, they're probably going to be like the dancer or the songstress in this game. Vassal, which is the flex class for the avatar. Witch, we all know what witches are. That's in Fate. Summoners, Succubus. That's an interesting class. I'm not quite sure how you would work that in a good way. I mean, because Succubus are like these like demons of the night that kind of come in and like screw like virgin dudes. So yeah, good luck trying to market that one, Nintendo. Imp, so it's like the vampire version of a thief. Impaler, again, is the lance class. Moon, here's another red flag one right here. Moonshifter / Laurent Reef. Or Laurent Reef. Now, a laurel reef is like the little reef of leaves that like old Roman or Greek people wear after a victory. So when you're riding victoriously back from conquering something, you get one of these on your head if you're in ancient Rome. So I don't see how this really ties into Gothic horror or Fire Emblem at all. And it has nothing to do with the word Moonshifter. So I don't really get what's up with this. It seems like these things have nothing to do with each other. But yeah, it's supposed to be like shapeshifter classes. So there's 3 of them. There's Wolf, the Bat, and the Dragon. So that seems cool if that's the case. Hippogriff Rider. So another rider class for the females. They use exclusively bows. We have Dark Rider, which is the cavalry class. We have Mermen, which are said to be pirate-like. So I had to do some research on this one. And the pirate class is like an axe user enemy class in Fire Emblem, older Fire Emblem games. Then we have Phantom, which uses animal magic exclusively. We're gonna get more on that later. Vistiel, which is a type of cleric, and Wizard, which is a new name for dark mages because it's a gothic horror game. Dark mages have to be in the game. So another interesting thing is mechanics. So mechanics that are coming back are new mechanics. They didn't say anything about really new mechanics too much, but a lot of mechanics that are coming back, like they're bringing back a balance of old and new mechanics. Let's see. So supports and marriages are coming back with no children, which kind of sucks because I like the children dynamic, but at least marriages are still in the game, so more waifus to come, even though I think this is still fake. Let's see, marriages. Pair Up is still in there because why would you get rid of Pair Up? Pair Up was pretty good. Weapon Triangle is in the game, but it's a pre-Fates Weapon Triangle, so different from the one from Fates. A Magic Triangle is going to be in the game, so 3 types of magic: dark, light, and anima. So, which is interesting, that they would go that route. I'm cool with that. Skills are coming back from older Fire Emblem games. Soul and Luna have their effects swapped. I'm not quite sure why. Wireless multiplayer. So, that is interesting. So, wireless multiplayer, if I'm guessing you and your army versus them and their army, it will be really cool, but really bad because it could take a long time. You know, maybe there's a timer. Whoever has enough points or kills or whatever wins. Or they can have different types, like conquering specific areas or holding an area. They could definitely do like a weird turn-based Overwatchy type of thing. That would be pretty interesting. Versus, I don't quite know what that means. I guess one-on-one multiplayer, like that's like, you know, I guess couch multiplayer since it's on the Switch. You forget. Double Duel, Arena, a 4-player free-for-all from the GBA era. I'm gonna have to check that one out. New features are gonna be a day and night cycle with stronger enemies at night. So that's interesting. Now I don't know if this is gonna be from the human perspective or from the Kabari, because I've seen Kabari would be the ones to get more powerful at night. I don't know why they will be fighting monsters, unless there's a third faction in here, kind of like in Fates. Let's see. So this one right here is probably the coolest thing I have heard. Amiibos unlock special maps against enemies themed from the map's origin. So like old school maps, like one of them is called Alicia's Gambit. Then it said Hanoka and Leo. I guess their chapters would be in the game. And Marth's Embarks. Or Marth Embarks. Why is it like that? Okay. Marth Embarks is another map from an older game. So, say you have like one of the Fire Emblem amiibos, you put it on your game, and it gives you like a random old school map with enemies featured in that map from the older game. I'm like, that seems pretty cool. Like that's cool. It says it's gonna be fully voice acted, and of course the art team from Fire Emblem Heroes being Kotaro Yamada and Drew Lin are going to be coming back to do the art. This, it seems interesting to me, but I'm not down with the whole, like, I've never been a huge fan of, like, goth horror. Like, I mean, the Fire Emblem, I mean, the Castlevania anime was pretty nice. The Netflix one was pretty good. But for the most part, I have never really been into gothic horror. Now, maybe dark fantasy, you know, something like along the, like Berserk, you know, Witchers, so maybe like that. But goth horror is like vampire, werewolves, you know, that kind of like Dracula, Transylvania type. It's never really been my cup of tea. And I don't really see this as being very marketable. That's one reason why I think this might be fake. Because one thing about this, the series is doing well now, but they wanted to continue to do well and continue to grow. So they're going to do something that's very marketable, something that's very open to fans. So kids, because kids, even though it's a T-rated game, some parents are going to buy it for their kid. Kids will be able to play it, and adults like me will be able to play it. Older Fire Emblem fans will be able to play it, new Fire Emblem fans, so on and so forth. I don't think this is that game. I don't think, Succubi and all these things really are marketable on a mass market appeal level. I mean, there are things like True Blood and Twilight and stuff, but it's different. It's definitely with teens and adults in mind. But that's about it. I'm gonna do some more Fire Emblem videos, try to get theories going, even though we know absolutely nothing about this game. I'm also gonna try to come up with something. So that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, folks, keep it real.